it's finally happening. I know some of you already followed me because you've been waiting for this to happen and I haven't done it. But here we are, it's my first video. I'm finally doing it. So as you may see from the title, this is going to be the Booktube Newbie Tag. I'm going to be answering some questions about my hopes for this channel and all that good stuff. So let's get into it. So number one, why did you start this channel? Mostly because I just like books and I found Booktube very recently. I found Booktube about a few months ago, and I was like, you know what? I would like to talk about my feelings about books. And it initially started with me just making an Instagram that was very heavily story focused, of me being like, these things are happening. And I was like, you know, I could probably do that in a YouTube video instead of just my stories. So that's what started good old Bookmark Bandit. What are some fun and unique things you could bring to Booktube? So when I read this question initially, I was like, that is a lot of pressure. Because from what I've seen of Booktube, there's a lot of similarities. There's book hauls, there's book reviews, there's readathons. So I plan to do all of those things, and I was like, am I going to bring anything new to the table? And then I realized the new things that could be brought to the table is like maybe books you guys have never heard of before, things that aren't necessarily on Booktube, or even something simple as, you know, just having another person's perspective. Maybe I had a life experience and I'm like, this book sucks because of this and I experienced that, or this book is great because of this. So I think everyone always has their own great personal perspective to share. So that is my answer. What are you most excited about for this new channel? I'm excited for discussions and conversations. I feel like a big motivation for starting my Instagram and now this YouTube was a lot of the people that I'm closest to don't really read, which is fine. I also read at like a weirdly fast pace. So even if someone's reading something with me, I'll be done and they'll be like, meh. So I just wanted to be able to discuss things with people like, hey, I really loved this. Did you hate it? Why did you hate it? Why did you love it? Let's talk about it. Let's have theories together. Because, you know, sometimes you read something and you just want to like, oh, I gotta talk about this. Like, I need to talk about this right now. And I've had that feeling a lot without anywhere to really put that energy. So I guess that could go into here. Why do you love reading? I just think it's an adventure every time. I think it's always like, wow, it's like watching a movie in my head, which is a very common thing said, but that's basically what it's like. I also think it's a great way to just learn people's life experiences. I've been getting more into reading more diverse authors and things like that, and I'm like, wow, this gives me a lot of perspective that I would have never had otherwise. And I think that's a really fantastic thing about reading. And on top of that, sometimes it's just fun and silly. Like, I read a lot of thrillers because they're ridiculous, and I love that because it's just fun. What book or series got you into reading? So it would be The Secret Garden, which I have right here. My grandma read it to me when I was a wee lass, and I didn't know entirely what was going on because I was like 4 years old. But from that moment on, I was like, I want to go to the library, I want to get some books, and I've just been kind of obsessed from there. But I will say that what started a resurgence in my desire to read, because I'd say for the past few years, I haven't been reading as much as I used to when I was younger. I'd say that'd probably be Jurassic Park. Something about how Jurassic Park is written made me be like, I need to read everything. And that's where I am now. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? How do you do it? Because I'm actually a little nervous filming this. And, you know, I think it's just putting yourself out there and making yourself like someone that's there to be scrutinized. And well, if someone's just like, you dumbass, I can take it, but I think it's really amazing how you guys have the confidence to put yourself out there and be like, well, I'm just gonna keep posting despite what people say. And I don't know, I admire that. Want to know how you do it, how you operate on a day-to-day basis. Do you ignore it? Do you take those criticisms? That kind of stuff. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? For myself, consistency, as I said at the beginning of this. Some of you followed me like over a month ago, and I have not filmed this until now. So I want to be more consistent and have an actual schedule in which I post things. And I guess the only other thing is, you know, not second guessing myself. We're gonna get a little personal because I'll second guess myself. I've filmed this like 4 times now. Always for something kind of silly. So, you know, just kind of embracing the me and just putting it out there. When did you start reading? Well, my grandma read to me when I was really young. I'd say like I really started reading, like just going at it in maybe like 1st grade. I don't know, I was a child. But like I said, I stopped for a good amount of time after high school, and I got back into it pretty recently. I'd say probably 2018, towards the end of 2018 is when I was like, damn, I miss reading, I'm gonna get back into it. And I guess I'll put that as my more general baseline. Where do you read? I read primarily in my home because there is a virus, there is a pandemic happening. If given the option, I sometimes read on the balcony in nature, but since I'm from Florida, I think it's currently feeling like 101 degrees today, so my air-conditioned home is usually the safest bet for where you'll find me reading. What kind of books do you like to read? I feel like I read almost everything. I feel like I'm not too picky in terms of what I'll read. I really respect every genre. I think the only one that I'm kind of like, and I don't really bother with is self-help books. I have read a couple, but usually things that are like way more personal to me in my life. But as a whole, if someone's like, here's a book on how to function, I'm like, I'll be a mess. It's okay. I'll be a mess. But beyond that, I think lately I've been really into thrillers, historical fiction in particular. I really like anything based in Greek mythology, fantasy. I really am a little bit all over the place right now, but maybe in the future I'll do like more targeted type of videos of like specific genres. So that is all the questions, and that's my first video. That's exciting. I finally did it. But for the next video, if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. I was thinking maybe just like a regular reading vlog for what I'm currently reading, which is Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. But if not that, if there's something else you'd like to see, if you had questions or anything like that, just feel free to let me know in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this first video. I will absolutely try to get the second one out sooner than this one. Thank you so much. I guess I don't know how to do an outro yet. We'll figure it out.